Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new update video on the channel. Hope you guys are well. We're here for the latest transfer news and update video. There's been quite a few bits and pieces over the last couple of days since my last video. But yeah, we'll jump into it. And as always, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below. We will start off with Mr. Hugo Bueno. After the video on Sunday, I had some news and I posted out exclusively on my Twitter, or X page as it's called now, about Hugo Bueno, with Leeds being the latest club to show an interest in him. We reported a couple of weeks ago that Norwich had reportedly put a bid in. That information is false. That never happened. But certainly the three teams now in the race for Hugo Bueno's signature are Leeds United, Dutch club Feyenoord, and Scottish champions Celtic. Now, no real indication of who's leading that race at the moment. Wolverhampton Wanderers are certainly keeping their cards very close to their chest on this one, and not necessarily desperate to get Hugo Bueno out because it's certainly good depth for us. And it's sort of one of those things, yes, he's good depth, but certainly a player of 21 years of age, you want him to be out there and getting as many minutes as possible. So it may well be a situation where we wait until towards the end of August to see the situation, make sure Aït-Nouri is fit and so on. And then you've got the likes of Doc or Xiao Gomez to fill in at left back, worst case scenario. It has been pushed again though in the Netherlands about Hugo Bueno to Feyenoord. It's reported by some of the senior reporters over in Holland that Feyenoord are looking and hoping to push to sign Hugo Bueno on loan this week. Any loan deal will not include an option to buy, and that's across the board, and Wolves will not allow an option to buy in these loan deals. And for Feyenoord, it may only be a short-term deal, because I believe their first team left back, Quinn, I don't even know how you pronounce his first name, but Hartman, their left back, is injured until around the new year. So it may well be just a case that Hugo is in the Netherlands for around 6 months or so. So I don't know. I think, like I said, I feel this one may well go in towards the end of the transfer window, but certainly a lot of interest in Hugo Bueno right now. And it remains to be seen whether Wolves do sanction a move to let him go. Because squad depth at the moment is looking good. It's looking good. A little bit too heavy in some areas, but I'm sure we may well discuss that later on in the video. Gerson Mosquera looks like he's set to stay at Wolves. There have been reports in Spain regarding Villarreal. Of course, Mosquera was out on loan at the Spanish side last year. It's been reported for most of the summer that Mosquera was their number one target to reinforce their defence on a permanent basis. However, it's thought that Villarreal have now ruled out that option, with Mosquera obviously being pretty much ever present for Wolves in pre-season, and now Villarreal understanding that he is going to be a big part of Gary O'Neill's plans, as Wolves are going to be counting on him. So Villarreal out of the race now. Looks like Mosquera is going to be staying at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Another player that's got a lot of speculation on his future is Chiquinho. Again, had plenty of opportunities, lots of minutes in pre-season. Looked fairly sharp and bright and wanted to get involved in those pre-season games. More interest in for him now. Gaziantep over in Turkey have reportedly had a bid rejected from Wolves for the winger. The Spanish club Mallorca have now entered the race to sign him as well. Of course, Sporting are still in and around, lurking to try and sign Chiquinho. So again, another one of these which may well creep in towards the end of the window, but lots of interest in Chiquinho as well. Really depends on the squad depth in those attacking areas. There's a lot of players in there. And it's really up to Gary O'Neill to decide who he wants to keep. Is he going to be able to keep everyone happy? Because I think I mentioned and reeled off however many names in the last video, but you've still got to consider Fabio Silva's on the books as a striker. You've got Sasha, who's obviously injured right now, but in terms of your wingers, you've got Chiquinho, you've got Paredes, you've got Paredes, who I'll speak about in a minute, alongside all the guys that you would class as first teamers and starters at the moment. There's a lot of players there, a lot of competition. So 24 years of age now, Chiquinho, could be the summer we may well need to let him go, but I certainly feel like he, he's a good squad option for Wolves, and probably out of the likes of Paredes, Paredes, and co, Chiquinho is probably the one that would be most satisfied with being that squad rotation option, but we'll wait and see. Now, Pedro Neto, of course, has been subject to so much speculation, not just this transfer window, but the last transfer window as well. And it's been quite quiet, and I think it's probably been quieter than people expected for Pedro Neto this summer. I think it was just a given that Wolves were expecting lots of clubs to come in and this sale to be happening, but it's been fairly quiet. However, today an article by the Telegraph has suggested that Manchester City certainly have an interest in Pedro Neto. It looks like City are about to sell Julian Alvarez across to Atletico Madrid for a fairly decent fee. It's a fee that a lot of people I've spoken to think it's quite inflated, really. Not inflated, but possibly a little bit higher than people expect, which will certainly give City a little bit of money to spend. Pedro Neto may well be amongst those options. So we'll wait and see on Pedro. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What fee and value should Wolves be demanding for Pedro Neto? Because certainly when he came on and some of the first teamers came on Sunday or Saturday night, Wolves looked a really, really strong outfit, and excited to see if he can get some more minutes under his belt on Saturday's friendly at Molineux as well. Daniel Paredes, who I mentioned earlier, a report by The Athletic this morning have said that Wolves are wanting 10 million euros for Daniel Paredes. There's lots of interest still from clubs in Saudi Arabia. Paredes is open to leaving Wolves. However, the club have been impressed by his conduct in training and around the club, and there is a possibility that Paredes could stick around. Again, a good player, impact player, but are you going to be able to keep him happy as a squad player? Olympiacos not mentioned in this latest report. I think if Olympiacos stumped up the cash for him, he'd be gone straight away. But at the moment, still very, very quiet on Daniel Paredes. And Wolves have sort of made it pretty open that, there is a possibility. This is the value it will take for him to leave the football club. Kiana Hoover as well. He was meant to be leaving Wolves on loan. I'm sure he still will leave on loan. Sheffield United, a deal was pretty much agreed, and it had gone quiet over the weekend, really. Like I mentioned on Sunday, Chris Wilder was a little bit, he sort of steered away from the question, but it has been confirmed now over in Sheffield that Kiana Hoover's loan move to Sheffield United has collapsed, and is apparently due to injury issues. No real description on what's been going on there with Kiana Hoover, but his move to Sheffield United now is done. They may well revisit it, I don't know, but as it stands, he will not be joining the Championship club. Joe Hodd as well, another player that's set to leave the club on loan this summer. Heavier reports that he was going to be going to Huddersfield Town, but then reports yesterday have suggested that he's been training with the Scottish club Hibernian. He's been there for the last week or so, but there's no guarantee on which club he's going to be going to at the moment. The player and Wolves both still weighing up the options. Currently, he's not really been training with the first team as such, has he? He's not been in America, so it's pretty much a given that he's going to be going out on loan. Lincoln City, I believe, are another club that have been interested in him. But interested to see what level Wolves rating him at, sort of higher League One level. But again, another player that I think needs lots of minutes. Struggled to pin down, consistent minutes in the Championship last year. 6 months, I think, in Scotland or in League One, and we'll go from there and see how it goes. Again, we reported a few weeks ago about Wolves and a potential collaboration with the Swedish club IFK Norrköping. Now it's pretty much confirmed that is a thing. They're quite public with these things. They've reported about this partnership again, and this week they've had Justin Hubner and Tyler Roberts both training with the club over in Sweden. Hubner has just returned from a loan spell in Japan. Tyler Roberts had a couple of EFL loan spells over the last 12 to 18 months or so. Certainly both players need minutes at a much higher level and a consistent first team level. I'm not against this whatsoever. A lot of good quality Scandinavian players coming from obviously that neck of the woods at the moment, so it's certainly a nice area for Wolves to have a look in, and affiliation with another club can, never too much harm in that. So Justin Hubner and Tyler Roberts currently training with the Swedish club. And a couple of little bits on midfielders to finish off. There have been reports over in Spain that Wolves report they have a strong interest in the Valencia midfielder Andre Almeida, 24 years of age. Also said to be interest from clubs in Italy and Germany, and thoughts a deal could be done for in between 12 to 15 million euros up. It's thought that Jorge Mendes is very heavily involved in this one, but a quality footballer, to be honest, a player that I thought Wolves probably should have gone for before he went to Valencia. Could play as that sort of number 8 in the midfield, or he played even as a second striker, as a sort of number 10 attacker midfielder at times for Valencia last year. So we will see Andre Almeida to Wolves if anything else comes of that one, but very much a Jorge Mendes based move. And finally, a little bit in news, not a huge transfer rumour as such, but Manchester United are apparently appreciate Xiao Gomez, whatever that means. And he could be an alternative to Manuel Ugarte, who Manchester United are chasing at the moment from PSG. But Wolves do value Xiao Gomez for at least £60 million. So any deal to see Xiao Gomez leave this summer would need to be at least £60 million. But Manchester United certainly a fan of the Brazilian midfielder. But guys, that is all for today's news. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Lots to get our teeth into over the last couple of days or so. As always, be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And very quickly, actually, before I forget, if you haven't already, I got invited to Wolverhampton Art Gallery to check out their latest football exhibition, and it was so good. So if you're in and around the West Midlands or Wolverhampton, even if you're going to the friendly on Saturday, maybe get there half an hour to an hour earlier than you were planning on going and check it out, because it's really cool. Lots of nice little walls pieces in there as well. But I thought I would shout that one out. So, yeah, as always, guys, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.